If you are a new student, welcome to the Associate of Occupational Science degree, Heavy Equipment Operations with Heavy Equipment Colleges of America. My name is Scotty Gex, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course, which is course number PS101. And the name of the course is Basic Soil Science. The first thing I want to do is to say a couple of things that are not in my script, but they come into my mind. Is self-advocacy is essential for online education. And what that means is self-advocacy is the ability to speak up for yourself, to take care of yourself, to ask questions when you don't understand, and if you get behind, say something. We can work with you. We can get you caught up. Things happen. A lot of you folks are full-time employees somewhere, and I know this is challenging. But the main thing is don't sit and dwell on something that you don't understand. We'll be looking here momentarily at my contact information, and I want you to use it. This basic soil science is a step above what you may have had in the past when it comes to soil classification and things like that. But we'll be going through the classification of soil, speaking of that, with the AASHTO method and time permitting the unified soil classification method. We'll be looking at lots of different types of tests and things of that nature. So the first thing I want to start off with is to take a look at our course. What you're looking at right there is whatever it is. It's in edit view, it looks like, and it looks like it's this video that we're getting ready to do. So let me just put a cursor there, and so it'll be waiting on us. I want to go back and save this thing because I may want to look at it here momentarily with you. So we're sitting on, let me get to the home page. That's where I want to start. So we're going to start with course modules, take a look at what a module is and how the format of this course is laid out. So looking at this module here, you can see up here in the left-hand corner, it will always display the course number. It may not have the course name, which is Fall 2024 Basic Soil Science, but it will have the course number to let you know where you are. And over here on the left are things that you won't be able to see, but there will things that you can, none of this will be available to you once we get in student instructor mode. You will have access from here up, and that's all you will need to complete each week. And by the way, I call this a week is known as a module, and it goes from Monday through Sunday. Everything will be due on Sunday, no later than 11:59 p.m. So also, we will cover this in the syllabus, I'm sure, in just a minute here. But all the times and things that I give you that have to do with time, I will be using Central Standard Time for that. Just automatically consider that if you're in Eastern Standard Time, if I say 3 p.m., you'll know to do whatever that is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So keep that in mind. Now, as you can see, this is starting week 1. This is where you'll take off, where we'll begin. And by the time you hear this video, we'll be here. We'll be in this module right here, and we'll be looking at this video right here. And then we'll be looking at the overview. Each module or each week, like it goes weeks 1 through 10, and that's what you want to go by. Each week it's going to have an overview. It may or may not have a video, but if it doesn't have a video, it'll have an announcement telling you about what's in the forthcoming week. So it's broken down into the intro video. The overview is usually where I put the objectives, and here they are in this case. For week 1, I want you to be familiar with the online format of this course, and I want you to understand the course outcomes. I want you to understand the structure, the format, what is a week, what is a module, etc., etc. And then I'm going to make it available for you to, I may have these that I can send to you or put up in Kansas. This is an engineering handbook. The good thing about it, it's PDF and you can copy charts out of it. We'll be using lots of charts. The best one to have is the FE Handbook 10.0.1. You can go and Google that right there. And when this option comes up, University of Mississippi, that's the copy I use. It's just easy to get to. I will also make sure you have, and it's within this handbook, and you can copy it, is the American Association of State Highway Transportation Officials Soil Classification Chart. And we will be using it extensively. It tells you where the page is, and you can scroll that handbook that I'm talking about and copy that. You can select and copy that page number where the chart is. If you have trouble, we'll do it. Classification of fine grain soils, that's 267, and we'll talk about that. This is the Unified Soil Classification System, AST, American Society for Testing Materials, D2487, and it tells you where to find that. This is Unified Soil Classification. This is AASHTO Soil Classification. It says Objective 6 should be completed prior to week 4. So that means you need to get these things downloaded, and if you're having trouble, let me know early on so we can get this to you. You need to have these things in your hands prior to week 4, as it says. And I have some Similog graph paper, and I'm not going to get into what that is, but it's based on trig logarithms. Don't get scared. We don't do trigonometry here. That's what a Similog graph paper is. It accounts for the what do you call it, log 10 scale, and that's what you'd use if we didn't have that graph paper. Do not worry about trigonometry. You're not going to be confronted with it. This graph paper, once you see how it's done, it's simple and easy to do. So there is the objectives. Now let's go back, course modules. And again, that's where this video is going to be. This is Big Blue Button. Now, I will want to sit with you guys. This is a face-to-face thing, and it can be instructor and the whole class together. If we're wadded up in a knot of misunderstanding, we're going to have a Big Blue Button, which will be like a Canvas version of Zoom. And we can talk back and forth as a class. If that needs to happen, we can make it happen. This will be in every module. In every week, there will be a tailgate. Your first, and that's a discussion. And you can see it's our first scored assignment. We will be talking about time management, it looks like. The tailgate is something that has requirements, and we'll get to that when we get back to the home page. You'll have a weekly assignment, maybe a weekly quiz, and then you will have this to be completed no later than October 13th, which will be the end of the first week of the course. And it is questions about soils that most likely you've never been exposed to. But this is what this is about. This is a pre-test. What do you know the day you start school? What do you know about soils? If it's nothing, that's okay. Just need to know. It'll help me allocate time and select areas of focus as we move forward. So this is week 1. Week 2, I'm just going to show you that it's going to be a different category, types and characteristics of soils. And as you can see, the week 1 is all about course orientation. During this time, this first week, you should have access to your textbook, which is an ebook, and we will get to that in the syllabus in just a short time. Let's go to the home page so we can get that out of our way. But this will be week 1, week 2. As you can see, this is how it goes. Week 3, and we will take these sequentially as they are listed. You will probably see, once you get started, you will see some things that upcoming things to do, upcoming assignments. They'll be on the right side of your screen. Like if we were in the tailgate, I don't think we're going to have anything showing up there. But over here, once we get I get to the assigning and publishing things, you will see it over here. Don't pay any attention to those dates. Sorry about that. We just don't use that. We just know that we're going week by week. Week starts on Monday and it ends on Sunday. That's what you need to know. And we'll be starting with week 1. In week 5, that'll be our midterm examination. And in week 10, that'll be our final examination. Everything in between week 1 and week 10 will be covered in modules. A lot of these quizzes will have multiple choice, but many will have essay types, and you will have scenarios or situations where I'm going to ask you to classify our soil once we get on down the road here. So this is enough about modules. Let's go to the home page. And up it comes, and you can see here is the full name of the course you'll be taking, Fall 2024 Basic Soil Science. This is the course number. This is the school that you're in. And these are links. This is your link to the syllabus. This goes to the course calendar. I don't use it, and I would advise you not to worry about it. Over in here is where you're going to start seeing some assignments pop up. But again, don't worry about them. You go by week to week. If you're in week 1, the next week you'll be in will be week 2. These are announcements. I'll use them a lot, so pay attention. You'll get a notification, and your announcement will come through an email probably. And so you'll get a notification that there's an announcement. And this is all of the modules that we have 1 through 10. You can go there. I want to pay a little bit of focus on this tailgate. This is the discussion I was talking about. Let's go take a look at that for just a minute. And once again, we're still within the course. There's our home page. We're not lost. But tailgates are like, if you come from construction, you've had many tailgate meetings, usually in the morning before you start a job or continue a job. So, and we usually talk about work site related topics and so on and so forth. Now, I want you to thoroughly go through this. This is the rules. Let me start just a little bit up here. Here we go, specific habits. But in the context of the class, every week there will be a tailgate for students to engage in a specific topic. These tailgates will address various topics, not usually, but in one way or another, they're going to be related to your course. And you students will have an opportunity to engage in discussion. And I'm going to pop in and out of them, but I'm going to try not to take up too much of your space or your time And I just want to help you keep it moving. I want you talking back and forth. I want everything to be subject matter related that we're talking about. This is not for idle chit chat. What we're doing in this tailgate is trying to reach a better understanding of the subject matter. Now, there are suspense times and dates, and here they are. You will have an initial post, and it needs to be done. Like the post is when you go into the tailgate, there'll be a thing up at the top left where you reply. You click that button, and then you write your initial post. And sometimes I'll tell you what I want in that initial post. Sometimes I want. The first post, once you post that, you will be able to see what other students are posting. But until you post your initial post, you will not be able to see what other students are posting, so it will be very difficult to reply to something that you can't see. So get that done first. And what we don't want is to respond late Sunday night at 11:59. That's when the week ends. You can it says you can imagine how unfair this would be to other students who are looking to respond to someone and they haven't posted anything to the 11th hour. So furthermore, without a strict standard and due date for the initial post and replies, students are more prone to posting at the last minute. Go on and read that for yourself. I'm sure you guys can read as well as I can talk. These are the minimal responses. If there's something you and another student have going on, you can continue that. That's okay. So you don't have to, once you get your 3 posts in, that meets the requirements of the tailgate, and they must be at the due dates. Your first one, your initial is Tuesday at 11:59. Your first of 2 replies to a student, that means to another student, is due by Thursday at 11:59. And your second of 2 replies to another student is submitted and due no later than Sunday at 11:59 Central Standard Time. And then here it goes again talking about don't wait till the last minute, and that these are minimal responses. You can continue on. Be very, very conscious of this right here. I'm not here. This is not an English class, but you need to know this much. You need to know that sentences begin with a capital letter. When you use I in a sentence, you're referring to yourself. You need to capitalize that I, or I'm going to take off for things like that. We are not texting. We're not sitting out behind the Connex smoking and joking. This is not just chit chat. This is written communication. When we have an advisory group, and it kind of rotates with different people from construction contractors that come in and sit in and say, what do you want? What we hear more than anything else is, can you help these students get to a point where they know how to communicate? And what they're talking about is slang and being able to carry on a conversation without profanity. It seems that construction is changing. We are becoming more professional. We are beginning not to tolerate lazy language, and we're wanting to change the culture. We're wanting to get quality employees is what we're after. And I'm reading ahead just a little bit. This again says you gotta reply before you can see. Here's some examples that won't fly for me. Some examples such as I agree, Scotty. Like if I say something, that's my name. Or yes, Scotty, I agree. and then you copy and paste the post with that. That's not going to do it. If you agree, tell me why you agree. If you think my work is good or what I say is good, tell me what makes you feel that way. And this kind of stuff right here is, tell me what you understand. Talk to me, help me understand. What we need is input. If you agree or disagree, let us know why. You can't just say, that's good, Scotty, or I agree, Scotty. That won't work. What we're looking for is intellectual inquiry. If you don't know the definition of that, I advise you to look it up because it's what I'm going to be looking for in your post. All you got to do is just Google what is intellectual inquiry. I want you to do that as soon as you can because I want you to understand that. A little brief definition is questioning to determine thought and reason to gain a better understanding and contribute to knowledge. So you need to go become beyond. Why did you say that? What do you mean by that? Can you tell me a little bit more? Those are things that we're using to come to understanding. Understanding is different than knowing. That's something else you might want to look up. A lot of people think they're the same, but they're not. When you understand something, you not only know it, you can do it, and you can explain it. That's when you understand. So here's another example. How did you come to that conclusion? I disagree because, those things are good. We can confront each other. It says down here, the idea is to determine the value or how can I use the information that you're giving me, that I'm giving you. How can I use it and to reach understanding? What I'm asking is to be thoughtful in expressing ideas and opinions as well as responding to to others' ideas and opinions. All replies should carry the depth and weight of my definition of intellectual inquiry that you see above. But I want you to look it up and read it for yourself. Here's another example. To achieve relevancy to the course in your reply. In other words, make sure what you're saying has to do with what we're talking about. Now, artificial intelligence has become a prevalent tool for a lot of things. Don't be caught using it in my course. And I can take one look at what you've been writing, and when I see your writing change, it's going to arouse my curiosity. We have an app that tells us if it's plagiarism or what. This is not to scare you. This is to help you to think for yourself and to be able to communicate from your brain, not from the brain of someone else. So don't use it. If you there'll be questions, speaking of plagiarism, there'll be questions that I will ask you that can only be found. I will be looking for what the textbook says. Sometimes you have to just pretty much quote what's in the textbook. And that's okay. But when you can, I want you to read what the textbook is saying and try to put that in your own words. That is the best way to not only know that, but to understand what the textbook is saying. So I want you to try to put things in your own words. If you are taking it right from the textbook, which is okay. Now, I will have articles in there. You may want to pull something out of an article that has to do with the discussion. If you do that, I need you to cite that article where its source is, like if it comes from a magazine, and who wrote the article, what person in the magazine or the email. I get a lot of digital stuff from equipment companies and things like that that I use in for articles to get information for discussions. I'm sorry. Okay, so I've hammered you as well. One thing I want to say is how I score this thing. Each of these posts, well, they're a little bit different. The first and the second post, the initial and your first response, each of those is worth up to 35 points, depending on how well you have communicated what you wanted to say. And that includes relevancy, all the things that we just talked about. Your first up to replies to a student, that one also can be worth up to 35 points. It can be worth 5 points if it's, something like I agree, or it can be worth 0 points. The last one is worth your second of 2 replies to the student. It must be submitted by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, is worth up to 30 points. So 35 plus 35 is 70, plus 30 is 100. So if you do well on your responses and you post all 3 responses, you can score 100 points. Now, having said that, if you forget to post your second response of 2 replies to a student, guess what? The highest score you can get is 70. And that's only if you score the max on your initial and the max on your first of 2 replies. So you see what I'm getting at? I could talk a whole lot about this tailgate because it has cost people a lot of points unduly. It's just not paying attention. That's all it is, Here's the thing I want you to keep in mind. When you're writing a response, even just jot down some things you want to be sure and mention when things come to your mind. Think about what you want to say before you say it. Do not, and I can see this coming, do not start writing and then thinking. You will start meandering. I see it. I can smell it a mile away. I want you to be thoughtful about this stuff. This is not high school. It's not a certificate program. This is a college degree that you're in. And I'm going to be looking for those kinds of answers in these discussions. There is a heavy emphasis, as you will see, on discussions when we get into the syllabus. You need to go back and read this on your own and make sure that there's everything in here. Make sure you understand. And if you don't, go back to that word self-advocacy. Get in touch with me. You're going to see my phone number, you're going to see my email, and you're going to see the Canvas inbox where you might see my little finger pointing over here on the left, way left in this video. That's like a shortcut email. You can go there and get in touch with me. Okay, I want to get back and work on that syllabus if I can. Let's go to modules. That's always where I go when I'm lost. Okay, that got me back from the tailgate. Usually home will get you back. In that case it didn't. So here are the modules. We've already gone over that. Let's go back to home. This is, I think this is up to date. Let's start down here. This is a grievance policy. I'm not going to it. You're welcome to go to it. When you get to it, if you can't get back, go up here, right click on this arrow and go down to course modules. It'll get you back. You should be able to see home, but that's where I go when I get lost. I go here and I right-click on the left arrow, and I click on course modules, and that'll get me back to the module. Contact your instructor. I'm telling you to contact me. Here I am. Here is my email, scotty.gex@hecofa.com. My phone number, which is a good way to call or text. It's quick. We can solve it over the phone on many occasions if you're having problems. 405-684-6828. The Canvas inbox. Again, you can find that right here. And it sends me an email, and if I respond, I can respond to that email. Okay, let's see if we can go back to home from here. No. Let's see if we can go from here. Home page. No. Let's go up here and see if we can get out of this. See if there we go. Now we can get to home. I need to fix those links where they'll work better. It talks about who I am. I don't even know if it's still there. I think it is. Oh, this picture was taken in California. I was doing some training out there. I was in the military for 4 years. I was in a CAV unit. As you can see, I have a BA in psychology from Southeastern Oklahoma State University. I graduated in 1988, and I started way before that. It took me a while. I am a master trainer. Well, actually, I don't hold that certificate anymore, but I was for the National Center for Construction Education and Research for 5 years, certified craft instructor in heavy equipment colleges of America for 10 years, craft instructor, heavy equipment operation at a technology center for 3 years. Worked in the oil field for many years, offshore, onshore, civil, and vertical construction. I have 2 daughters and still have. Live in a remote village in southeastern Oklahoma. Now, let's see if we can get back. I got to get these links done. Nope, it's not going to do it. Okay. Hopefully this will. So far, that's been the live. So that gets you back here, and this gets you back to the home page once you get to the modules. So the course calendar, don't use it. I don't use it. Required material will be in the syllabus. We're about to go there. You will have no reason to make an announcement. I'll be doing all of that, and the rest we've gone to. So now we're going to talk about the syllabus. The syllabus is what you need, what we're doing, and and a few admin things. So here again is how to contact me through the email, through Canvas inbox, phone. My office hours are from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's when I'm supposed to be available. I'm usually available. I have my phone with me if it's not past 10 o'clock or something like that, and you're in the middle of something and can't get it done, give me a call. I'll answer. If it's too late, I'll say call me in the morning, but usually I can help you out right quick. And I cannot stress upon you how much easier that's going to make your life if you just don't sit there and worry about how to do something you don't know how to do. Don't get behind. Don't get behind. I can't say that enough. Here's the course information. I've said it once, basic soil science. It's going to start on, I think this may even be a Tuesday, but I'm not sure. And it's going to end around December the 15th, 2024. The meeting day and time is irrelevant since we're all online. We don't do anything but in-person training. Take this memo down. You are required to complete 30 hours of face-to-face, on the ground, in-person training, doing the things that are in this course. So if you so there'll be dates for those coming up. I try to get the dates out before the uh, fifth week, and we'll make sure to do that when those dates are. Then they're held at one of two campuses, either the campus in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, or the campus in it's Conyers, Georgia. It's right by Atlanta, Georgia. So it'll be at one of those two places. Here's our this is our LMS, the learning management system we use is made by this company, Instructure.com, and it is called Canvas. The objective of this course is to provide a general understanding of soils as used in construction. I want you to learn the properties and composition of soil, as well as the processes and procedures for determining appropriate soils, for supporting structures, and providing stable surfaces for gradients. Gradients is the lay of the land. Like for a house, you want it to be flat, right? Level. But you also want to consider drainage between buildings, right? So nothing's really flat except where you're going to set a McDonald's or a house or a building. Everything else is going to be sloped, graded, percent grade, fall, this and that. It's just going to be keeping drainage is really the first thing you think about when you arrive on a new job, and the last thing you think about before you leave. Have I got everything where it will drain? By the end of this course, I told you there were some outcomes. Here's your outcomes. They're simple. Identify different soil types. Demonstrate understanding of these different systems for classifying soils. As you recall, there were two I talked about. One is the Unified Soil Classification, and the other is the AASHTO, the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. Those are the two we'll be looking at, and the main focus will be on the AASHTO. So, trenching and shoring, systems for unstable soils. Identify protective systems for unstable soils. I'm not sure how much we get into that, but it's better known as trenching and shoring. You know, it's protective systems such as shielding, the difference in shielding and shoring, and things like that. The different classifications in soils as it pertains to cave-ins. That's not really the focus here. That's in a whole nother realm. It has to do with stabilizing and classifying soils, but not to the extent that we're going to classify. There will be different tests that we'll talk about, such as the sand cone test and things like that, to determine soil permeation. You know, how well will it drain? Is it a clay soil? Is it going to be cohesive? We will talk about compaction. The strength of the soil we'll be talking about. The shear strength, you know, how long will it hold together before it just breaks and soil breaks? And some other factors. It says to write plans that meet OSHA standards for soil control. That's like left field stuff. Not going to get into many OSHA standards in this. What we're focused on is soil classification, soils as a foundation for construction. That's what the focus is. Here are your textbooks. The ebook is Soils and Foundations by this guy and that guy or gal, and it's the 8th edition. It's been ordered, and you should have it in time to start the course. If it's a day or two late, I have other things I need you to do. And this module I'm going to call it a module. Some of you may have been through certificate programs with Heavy Equipment Colleges of America. We get some of the students that come right out of the 3 to 6 week or crane course or whatever and come into this This is a management type program that you're in now, the associate degree. So we will also be using the SOILS module 22308-13 from the National Center for Construction Education and Research. I think that I have ordered a hard copy. It's a very, 50 pages, 40 something pages in the whole thing, but it's really good stuff in there that'll help us lead us into some of this more advanced classification. So we'll be using that too. Going back to what I said earlier, this is how important I think each of these things, these types or groups, as they call them, are. Quizzes, I weight at 15%. Not too impressed by what I get from a quiz. Tailgates, I give it a weight of 25% of your total score. So doing well on a tailgate means better than doing well on a quiz. Essay assignments are right up there with the tailgate. I can learn more about what you know from an essay assignment than a multiple choice test any day of the week. Now, we will have some multiple choice tests. The midterm exam, I weight it at 15% and I bump up a final exam to 20%. So if you add these up, you would get 100% of your score. But it's broken down like this. Do well on tailgates, do well on essays, and do well on everything. But, look at it this way, you can see. Technology requirements. I'd like to talk a little bit about this. I recommend Chrome. I feel like that it's still required for remote proctoring. If you don't have Chrome, let me know, and I'll see if you have to have it. It's simple to get, you just download it. Now, let me move on. It says Canvas is adaptable, or whatever you call it. You can use Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Edge, Microsoft, Safari, Chrome, again, Microsoft Word, or an equivalent word processing software using Google Docs and or Microsoft 365. I'm telling you what you need to have to upload. Many of your assignments will have a text box where you can write your assignment out and upload it. Some assignments that I'm going to be giving you, probably the best way to upload them will be to write it out on a sheet of paper, take a picture of it, save it to your computer, and then send it to me via email. Right? You understand that? Now, here's a caution coming up. Let's say, let me put this in there. You can get a free Microsoft Office account if you want to, and that's for real. You can just click this. If you have problems with it, let me know. All written work must be saved and submitted in .doc or .docx file format. That's not all I have to say about that. If you don't know what a HEIC file is, I don't even know what it stands for. I used to. It will not work for me. That if you have an Apple, in other words, anything that's an iOS operating system, Chromebook, MacBook, or whatever it's called, any Apple products, you convert that before you even think about submitting it to me, because I'm not going to convert it for you, because it has to be sent to me either in JPEG or PNG. Do that conversion yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. You're the one that bought the Apple product. So it puts out HEIC files which have to be converted on my PC. So don't forget that. Don't send me this HEIC file, because I won't even try to open it. Okay. If you let's see, technical questions, select help in Canvas for 24/7. They are excellent at support. This number right here, this 800, or what is it? That number right there. They will help you. They will get to a student. They can help by looking at the problem. You're having the problem. And if they determine I've got an issue, then they'll get in touch with me. But don't hesitate to call that number if you're having a Canvas-related problem. Now listen, you can call me if you want. And if I happen to know how to fix your problem, I'll do it for you. But sometimes I can't, and what will happen for us to start working on how to fix it, you're going to have to screenshot and email me what you're looking at, and then back and forth like that. Canvas can get inside your computer and look and see what the problem, or inside your Canvas and see what the problem is and get it fixed for you. So you can say, if you have a problem, you can go up here to your search bar and say, in Canvas, blah, 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 how do I, et cetera, et cetera. So don't be afraid to, we pay them. They will come to our rescue, your rescue. They don't have to go, you don't have to come through me. But if you want to, you can't get anything done there, you let me know. So I don't know if we're still doing this or not, but this is I think it's Canvas Student Orientation, CSO. It's a little course, a mini course, to see how much you know about Canvas, or to see if you need help in getting a little bit more time getting used to Canvas. I don't know if we do that anymore. I don't think so. This is very important. This is the way we check attendance. It's done on a weekly basis. Remember that. That's a syllabus quiz question. And the weeks begin Monday, 12 a.m. in the morning. Not literally, but that's when the times start. And they end on Sunday at 11:59. So let me just read what this said. This is a policy here. In a distance education context, which this is, to demonstrate academic attendance by the student, documenting that a student has logged into an online class is not sufficient by itself. The class instructor must demonstrate that a student participated in class or was otherwise engaged in an academic-related activity, such as by contributing to an online discussion. That's what I prefer. It's not what I require, but I prefer that you post something in the discussion that's relevant. If you do an assignment, that will, complete an assignment. If you complete a quiz, that will do for verifying your attendance. Each week is usually divided into like a tailgate, a quiz, and an assignment. Now, you can't take that to the bank because I'll change it on you. But I'm just saying there are 3 things within each week that qualify as an assignment: the quiz, the tailgate, and an assignment. So you got to do one of those 3 things. Okay, this will take you to the catalog that goes into detail on policies and things like that. Code of contact. Listen, I'm gonna make the assumption that you are an adult and can behave as such. So that's about all we need to say about that. I use the word respect a lot. I will certainly respect you, and I would hope that you would do the same for me, just because we're human beings. And so let's start there. If we start to decay from there, I'll call our attention to it. Let's step back up. Okay. This is netiquette instead of etiquette. Read this. It's just being respectful, polite, coherent, no slang, speak like you're speaking as if you want the person to understand you. On that note, if you have trouble with vocabulary, in other words, what does the word mean that I have in an assignment, in instruction, or I'm using in an announcement. All you've got to do is take time, copy and paste it into your search bar, and you'll get a definition. Listen, if you understand the meaning of a word, it's going to make a difference in your ability to make good scores, and your ability to navigate this course. It just takes 10 seconds to do that. Let's see, what does it say here? If you send me a message in Canvas by the inbox, I'll reply as soon as I can within the hours of 12 to 8. Well, we already talked about that. I'll not only reply then, but I'll reply at 8:30 if I'm here and I have my phone. And if I'm in a situation where I'm eating at a restaurant or something like that and it's 9 o'clock, we'll have to postpone it. But if I'm just hanging out, working outside, I have livestock, and I'm outside, and it's not between noon and 8 p.m. It's 7 or 8 in the morning, and you're stuck, call me. Let's get this worked out, because this is important to me, not just you. I want you to do well, because you're going to be leaving this school and going to a job, and I want you to represent us well. So it behooves me to do the best I can. Rules for testing. Don't get behind rule number 1. Makeup test says it will not be accepted unless it's an illness, or you're saying your child, your wife, your mother is in the hospital, all those things. Let me know. I can't ask you to let me know before they get sick or you get sick, but do the best you can. I tested positive for COVID. I hope that never happens, but it has happened. Let me know that you're going to be needing some makeup time. We can arrange that. Makeup work. My goal for this course will be to ensure that you will have ample time to complete your assignment. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Ample times means you need to do it. You need to get yourself a schedule, and you need to adhere to it. So that's what I mean by if you exercise appropriate time management. I will expect feedback from each of you immediately if you're falling behind, don't understand. I don't want any messing around. I want you to get on the phone with me, email me, do something. Don't just stand there. Let's keep the ball rolling. It says the course is going to end the 15th. Keep this in mind. It will probably end automatically on the 14th. Just let me know. And if you're not done, you got one more thing to do, I'll open it up and let you back in. Falling behind without notifying me will reflect your grade as follows. Late work, one late assignment, discussion, or quiz during the course may be submitted without penalty. Otherwise, 10% per day late. So if you're 5 days late submitting assignment, that's 50% of your grade right there. Zap, pair of snips, and you fell off that much. Do not get behind. There's no need in it. If you take your computer to the hospital, no, we'll work out a way. But I've got to know these things. This is accessibility. If you need accommodations for getting in and out, there's probably no such thing as that. But remember those 30 hours of face-to-face time on the ground doing what we learned. That will be face-to-face time. So speak up if you need some help on the ground when that comes around. And remember the dates for the in-person training. It's called in-person training. We will put those out prior to week 5. Hopefully. There's a lot of preparation and coordination that has to be done between the campuses, me, and we usually get some outside entity to come in and show us some things and stuff like that. So veterans, that's up to you. I don't do the veteran thing, though I am a veteran, and I'm glad you chose this course. If you are a veteran, and by the way, thank you for your service if you're a veteran. And thank you for choosing this school if you're not a veteran. Okay, there, back to the grievance policy. These are what I'm talking about. These will show up. Right, this goes through everything. Do not go from here. This is not going to get you where you want to go. It just automatically shows up when I create an assignment, when I create a tailgate. It's going to pop up here with the due date on it. It's not going to take you there. Don't click on it. You just need to go back to the modules, or go back to home, or go back to where the course modules are by right-clicking here. Okay, that completes the syllabus, which, incidentally, let's look at my notes. We may be done with this thing. There's really no way to shorten this thing. So we talked about makeup, the format, homepage. Let me leave you with this right here. If you don't understand something, and you don't tell me you don't understand that something, it's going to come back to haunt you. Let's get this while the getting's good. You know, you're not going to, I'm here for you. You're the one that keeps me employed, you know. So I work for you. That means when you get in trouble, you need to get in touch with me. I can't overemphasize that. Just give me a call, and we'll get that. Whatever's the hang up, we'll get it done. We'll get it fixed. All right, that's it. And see you soon, perhaps.